Origins of Dust. Dust was a student at the Xavier Institute and one of the new X-Men in training. She is identified by her niqab, which she wears instead of the traditional X-Men uniform. She is currently enrolled at the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning. Dust is a mutant from Afghanistan. She was taken into captivity by slave traders who planned to sell her off as a mutant slave. When her captors attempted to remove her headdress, she lashed out at them, turning into her dust form and stripping flesh from their bodies. It was Fantomex who initially discovered her to rescue her. Wolverine had also been out to locate her, and assisted in killing the remainder of her would-be captors and getting her to the safety of the X-Corporation headquarters in Mumbai. While Wolverine was sleeping and allowing himself to heal, she turned into her dust form, hiding all around the room. Jean Grey recognized telepathically that she was there and attempted to comfort her, but she would only say one thing, Turab, meaning dust. She was placed in Zorn's special class. When Zorn asked her to join his new group and she refused, he controlled her dust form and forced her to destroy Cerebra. With other students such as the Stepford Cuckoos, Dust went into hiding and helped Cyclops and Fantomex plan to take down the crazy Magneto/Zorn. While at the Xavier Institute, she befriended and joined the Hellions. Instead of wearing a traditional X uniform, she decided to keep her traditional clothing, an abaya and a niqab veil. While also at the Institute, Dust was placed in a room with Surge. Surge and Dust didn't become friends, as the two had very different ideas about how to dress. During the first field training, Dust used her powers to mask the maze from the New Mutants' view. When the Hellions and Wind Dancer, now Renaissance, went to break Kevin Ford out of jail, Dust went because she was obliged to do so as a member of the team and because Julian had said so. But when they got there, the New Mutants managed to talk Wind Dancer around, so the Hellions, without Icarus, and the New Mutants, with Icarus, battle. Firstly, Dust battled Surge, but Prodigy instructed Surge to switch places with Wind Dancer, and Wind Dancer used her powers to send Dust out of the battle. It was later revealed that she was flung back to the Institute, where her niqab veil and abaya had lost, so she was naked. But Icarus asked Surge to take her another, as only a girl could see her without her clothes. Dust also began to develop a good relationship with Icarus during this time. Dust also attended Northstar's funeral after he was killed by Wolverine. Afterwards, Icarus asks Dust to the dance, but she turns him down because she doesn't feel comfortable with the idea of a dance. Dust battles the Blob with the others. Dust was one of 27 students of the Institute who retained their mutant powers after M-Day. After the chaos in the mansion and a brief argument between Hellion and Surge, Dust with the other Hellions followed the New Mutants to the Danger Cave, a cave that performs similar tasks as the Danger Room although only with previous X missions, built by Prodigy. After some messing around with the Danger Cave, Dust asks whether they could stop, and they all leave. In this arc, it is revealed that Surge had moved out of her and Dust's room, so Dust is given a new roommate, X-23. Later, Emma Frost organizes a battle between the remaining powered students, with the winners being drafted into the new X-Men team. Dust battles Indra, and then she is seen again at the end of the battle as one of the winners, and she is drafted into the new X-Men team. In the first issue of this arc, Dust and the other new X-Men have a training exercise where they have to take down Colossus, but when she is instructed to attack by Hellion, who is not the leader of the team, she is quickly taken out when Colossus lifts up a water pipe from below and sprays her with it. During this arc, Reverend William Stryker targeted the Xavier Institute because he believed that God had sent the decimation and it was his job to kill the rest of the mutants. Icarus had his wings amputated by Stryker, because he believed that if he gave up his wings, his friends would be saved. Icarus went to see Stryker again, but before he did, he gave a note to Dust, asking her to come to this address. X-23 said that it was a trap, but Dust didn't believe her. At the address, and the Purifiers see Dust arriving and they open fire. Stryker allows Icarus to see this, and then Stryker kills him. This is all because in Nimrod's databanks, Dust killed all the Purifiers as they invaded the Institute. But Dust wasn't shot, but knocked out and left on her and X-23's bathroom floor by X-23. X-23 took her niqab and abaya and left her just in her underwear. Dust went outside to find Mercury and Rockslide battling purifiers, and after Rockslide realized that Dust wasn't wearing her abaya and niqab and that he couldn't look at her, she said Turab and turned to Dust, and ripped the skin off the purifiers. Dust is first seen in this arc praying in her room, but was then pulled into limbo with the other students. In limbo, she was held captive together with Mercury and Prodigy. After realizing that she was in hell and out of Allah's sight, she and the other two were interrogated by Belasco, who asked about Ileana Rasputin. Belasco was able to sense that the three of them had been near her, but this was only true in the House of M reality, which none of them remembered. Belasco ripped out Prodigy's heart, and as Mercury and Dust watched in shock, they were freed from their restraints by X-23, who told them to fight. She was quickly disposed of by Belasco, but Mercury and Dust fought back hard, and luckily for them, their mutant forms were resistant to magic. The two managed to hold Belasco off until he was stopped. Dust's shoulder was dislocated during the battle with Belasco, but it was cured by Beast in the medical bay of the Institute. She was in quite a bit of pain, but didn't want to cause any fuss by asking someone to help. There, Pixie asked why she still wore her burqa even after everyone had seen her without it. Nesno then answered her question, correcting Pixie by telling her that it wasn't a burqa but rather an abaya with a niqab veil, and asked Pixie to respect Dust by learning more about her. When Serge went around asking about what happened to David in limbo, Dust told her that he broke a rib, but Elixir healed him. We then see Matthew Rissman leading Predator X to Dust, because she severely disfigured his face when she attacked the purifiers at the mansion. Powers and abilities. Dust can transform into a cloud of sand or dust. In this form, she can propel herself through the air at great speeds. This form makes her particularly dangerous, as the microscopic edges of the sand particles act as tiny blades, stripping the flesh off an opponent. She can use this form to move through cracks and crevices, allowing her to venture where others may not be able to. According to several people, Dust's dust form is very hard to detect and affect telepathically. Dust's main weakness is water, but has also been shown to have a vulnerability to air. Even though Dust can control her dust cloud, it can be controlled by others who have abilities such as telekinesis or aerokinesis. Dust's dust form is resistant to magic, according to Belasco. She is also weak against fire, as shown when she was turned into glass, as sand turns into glass at extreme heat. Dust's belief system does not approve of showing the outline of her body. Instead of wearing a superhero costume, she only wears an abaya and a niqab veil. However, since she has joined Young X-Men, Dust has worn yellow tassels/bands on top of her traditional abaya and niqab veil.